Content warning for drug use, violence, and depictions of poverty. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to Table It, a micro RPG podcast. My name is Tim, your host and editor. Table It is an excuse to get my friends to play and review micro RPGs with me. In this episode, we're going to be playing All Out of Bubblegum by Epoch, Sullivan and Jeffrey Grant. So Dorothy, Antelope, and Roscoe all run through the fire door area. You slam the button, a fire alarm starts blaring, and a thick metal and glass door slams down from the ceiling into the floor, locking in place as the big guy slams into it hard enough to dent it towards you a bit.
Yeah, right. We should be going.
We might have to deal with that later, but onwards and upwards, fellows.
All right, so you head upwards. The next room, the next series of rooms that you come into, once again, these stairways are blocked on like every other floor, so you have to cross the entire floor to get to the other side. This is clearly intentional to prevent this exact thing from happening.
Serpentine.
Exactly. So the
How many elevator bays have we passed so far? No, I have. This is a thought. Is there an elevator bay on this floor?
There are elevators the whole building, but they're like locked and guarded.
We just said fuck that.
Well, I mean, yeah, because we didn't want to deal with the guards.
Yeah.
But this high up, are they still guarded?
Once you get to the next floor, you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
So the next floor, like I said, on a couple floors down where they had knocked all the walls out to like make it open and grimy and grody to like get more space. This floor looks intentionally carefully cut apart. Any apartment buildings that used to be have been opened up to make more space for bunk beds.
Oh shit! This is the barracks.
Yes. When you walk up onto the next floor, there are rows of beds and rows of lockers, and you're looking down the barrel of what appears to be maybe a quarter of what this room can house, looking back at you, armed to the gills.
Antelope once again. It's like, hello, nice to see you all. I'm the new recruit. My name is Gazelle.
My name is
Gazelle. You can call me Gazzy. And I'm here to kick ass.
So I think you say, hey, this is Gazelle. And then as soon as you finish Gazelle...
I don't even say it, like Dorothy says it, and then I'm just like, yeah.
A shot rings out, and the hat is popped off your head like a 1920s Western movie.
And I go, hey, that was my bastard's hat.
Some guy steps out from behind a couple of the other guys. In his hand, he's holding a 1911 pistol, and he's wearing practically the same hat, but it's in the right color. He's wearing the red hat instead of the orange hat.
Well, why'd you shoot mine off? You have one exactly like it.
Nope, mine's better.
On how?
It's the right hat. You're wearing the wrong hat.
I'm not. From the time I was a little child, they told me that these two colors are the same color.
You just said that they're two colors.
Right, but they're the same color.
You hear a boom from below.
Well, you should go check on that. That doesn't sound good.
I think you should put your hands up, and the three of you, you're done.
What? Uh-oh.
You guys are
Single ladies.
Do they say put your hands up? I haven't listened to Single Ladies in so long.
Put your hands up.
As soon as that gunshot,
The Venn diagram of bank robbers and Beyonce is very strange.
so as soon as that shot goes off, Dorothy like dives out of the way and is going to tuck and roll into one of the other bunks and try to disguise herself as one of the bastards.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same thing with a different hat that I pulled out of my other pocket.
I need to know more about that hat. We're going to start with Dorothy. Before we get to what Dorothy's doing, what's Roscoe doing?
So they're all standing there just watching us.
Yeah. So these two are going to do a quick disguise change, a quick costume change while everyone's standing there, and we'll see what happens then. But what are you doing while they're putting on new bad hats?
Roscoe's walking forward with his hands up.
Okay.
I will sacrifice a bubble gum.
Okay. To successfully disguise yourself?
To successfully, so like I dive out of the way, and
I don't know. I have no idea what this looks like.
Okay, so dive out of the way.
There's a spare change of clothes hanging off the lockers.
Yeah, like I assume, like dives under a bed, and like because of her theater training, she rolls under the bed, and when she rolls out, she's dressed as like one of the bastards.
Quick change.
Yes, quick change.
Okay, when you say roll under the bed, are you rolling under like several beds to like end up in the row of bastards?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. As I want to like dive under
as
the bunk
camera's
beds.
panning across, it's Dorothy rolling past, and there's a different article of clothing that's changed each time.
Yeah, and so I want to get like to behind their lines and stand up in full bastard attire with a
sledgehammer or something.
Well, I was thinking a gun, but like whatever the weapons are, like
yeah, you could get like some sort of rifle or something.
Yeah, so she's got a rifle, and so I'm like have successfully infiltrated enemy lines.
So I'm just imagining what this looks like to anyone but Dorothy. So like 3 people walk in the door, a gunshot goes off, 2 of them immediately dive to the side after a quick handful of words are discussed, and then Dorothy just rolls under a bunch of cots, and the bastards are paying attention to this person who doesn't know what orange and red are so much that Dorothy gets behind them and stands up like, I'm part of use now.
That's what theater training will get you, Tim.
Man, I should have majored in theater instead of English. I might have something useful.
You would think. That and $116,000 worth of debt.
For real.
So I've heard.
So Dorothy's disguised because you cashed in a bubbles gum. Roscoe's giving himself up, allegedly. And
Allegedly.
And Antelope is putting on a new hat.
So this hat is red, and it does have the correct B.
Okay.
And it is a top hat. And I go, see?
Holy shit, that's a bastard's hat. You must really be a bastard. Okay,
I told you guys.
Here's an important question. Are you rolling for this, or is this just you putting a new hat on?
What do you think? Do I need to roll for this, or have I successfully convinced them?
If you want it to work, you have to roll for this.
Yeah. If you're just putting a new hat on, you have not successfully convinced these guys that you're one of them. If you want to successfully convince them that you're one of them and that you just didn't know the difference between the 2 colors, then that would probably require a roll.
Or can I sacrifice a bubble gum?
Yeah, but I'm going to need a little more explanation as to how this works.
So I put it on and I say, sorry, you guys, I put the wrong hat on. I put one on for my favorite sports ball team. I meant to put on my Bastards hat, which is red. And also the one I use at the circus.
So another guy steps out, and he's got like a really big mustache. Just a preposterous mustache. And he's got like a leopard print vest on, and he's also wearing a top hat. And he goes, I thought I recognized you. You must be the other ringleader at the Bastards Circus. The circus at the Bastard Zone, don't you know?
That-
Right, yes, I do know the Bastard Circus.
Ah, yes, we all love the Bastard Circus.
It's a rollicking good time, the Bastard Circus.
Well, anyway, we've captured this one guy. Good job bringing him up. What was your name?
My name is Gazelle.
Gazelle. That's a wild name for a...
wild name, you say?
Oh, right. This is
Peggy's
yeah.
disguise.
I need to.
Dorothy's disguise.
Is Dorothy wearing like a mustache?
Oh,
or-
absolutely.
Okay,
No,
okay.
it's a full Walrus chops.
Full all the chefs. Got it.
And I say, oh, I had to pick a gang name that was also flashy for the audience to like.
He goes, oh, I just went with ringleader.
But I didn't want to step on your turf. Like, I'm the new guy, I don't want to step on your toes and take your name.
That's very commendable of you. Let's get this guy in the prison. And they start leading Roscoe upstairs alongside.
I can no longer. I'm trying to exchange looks with Dorothy, but I can no longer tell which one Dorothy is.
Holy shit, this is not what I was expecting this to go. You are brought upstairs into the guards room. It has a bunch of like large doors that are like very clearly barricadable. It's got a couple of like straight up jail cells in it. And Roscoe, you're about to get thrown into one.
It's terrifying.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, I say Ross is going to get thrown in a jail cell, and Matt just goes, so you're thrown into a jail cell. The door is locked. And
There's a moment of time between that.
okay.
How big of a jail cell is this?
Probably like 10 foot by 10 foot, just enough to lay down, basically.
And is this a typical barred door situation, like
Yep.
the iron bars?
Iron bars, classic jail cell sitch.
All right. In this particular guard room,
Yeah.
because a fair number of people were still downstairs and are going downstairs looking for the three interlopers.
Well, 2 now.
Yep. So we have Gazelle, an unidentified gang member that I've never seen before.
Everyone knows him, though.
Yeah. And the ringleader.
Yeah.
How many other people are up in this guard room with us?
Probably like 6 or so, yeah.
Is the ringleader the one locking the door?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
The ringleader takes out a big jangly key ring full of keys.
Before he can latch it,
Okay.
I reach through the bars,
I know where you're going.
grab him by the front of the shirt, smash his face into the bar so he can't actually lock the door.
I need you to kick some ass.
All right, 4 or better. Let's do this. 5.
All right, so
You didn't catch me.
so you jump up. Oh, okay. Are you trying to pull him through the bars, or are you doing the District B13 thing of jumping up and then sliding your knee down the inside of the bars to smash his head into the bars?
I'm a little too big for the District B13.
All right, fair enough. You're not quite, you ain't quite agile enough.
I'm literally smashing his face into the bars to keep him, to effectively knock him out. Mm-hmm. And then I have a plan for the next go round, because the next person who wants to try and lock me in has to go for the keys. And we'll get to that when we get there.
Okay. So Roscoe's leaping into action.
How many other people are in this room?
5 now,
5 now? Okay.
and 1 unconscious ringleader.
So we've got Roscoe, the unconscious ringleader, Gazelle, myself. So does that leave just 3 guards?
No, 4.
4 guards.
I was counting
Okay.
4 real guards and also.
Okay, so I'm the 5th guard.
Yeah, no.
Huh?
There were 6 guards and the 3 of you.
Okay.
Now there's 4.
So ringleader was counted amongst those 6.
Now
Got
there's
it.
5.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got
Wow,
it.
our numbers are so bad with this.
You guys are dressed like guards, but I want to be clear: you're not working for the bastards.
No, I know. I was just like trying to figure out. So they see only guards and the prisoner in this room.
So I think Antelope, as the now de facto ringleader, is gonna step forward and say, I will lock you in the cell. And so I have you just go, and I just like shut the door, and I like fiddle with the keys, but I don't actually lock it. And then I just turn around and say, time to go, boys.
I think one of them looks back at you, goes like, you don't give orders around here.
Well, ringleader's dead, so I do now.
He didn't give orders around here.
Oh.
He's just the guy who holds the keys, and now that's you because you got the biggest hat.
Well, right, but but like,
That's right. Don't you think someone should go up and tell the boss that, the ringleader's dead, sending reinforcements?
I think it should be you.
I think I should guard the prisoner here.
All right, then I guess.
Why don't you go, Timothy?
Why wouldn't I go as the ringleader?
Well, someone has to stay and make sure the prisoner doesn't pick the lock.
Hold on, I thought you said your name was Gazelle.
But now that ringleader's gone,
That's right. I propose that we nominate Gazelle to the ringleader.
Ringleader's not a title.
No, they nominate a name change.
I second. All in favor.
Aye.
You don't get a vote.
Get a vote, and I'm gonna slam you with the butt of my gun, just to really sell it.
And I go,
Please roll ass kicking.
oh no, PvP.
10.
All right, Matt has given me a bubblegum because he got his ass kicked by another player. So one of the guards, the one you called Jimothy, points to another guard and says, go tell the beast that we got one, and that he should come out here when he's ready.
And I go, I'll come with you. Gotta make sure everything's tip top.
He's got a news station and he's already become a fancy man. Now, this man is going places, I say.
I'm going to the tip top.
Right to the top, governor.
Okay, hold on one second. I think you all need to roll.
What are we rolling?
Non-ass kicking.
To convince these guys that you're still one of them, because this is a lot.
I'm gonna sacrifice bubblegum.
Me too.
All right, fair enough. We'll take that. So the pair of you are like, yes, we're going with. Was that right? Or are you staying here?
I'm staying to guard the prisoner.
Okay, you're guarding the prisoner,
And I'm going to the tip top.
you're going to go see the beast with one of the guards. He opens the door, and the pair of you walk through. You step into a very strange room. This room clearly was not designed to be inhabited. It's got like sort of like machinery kind of vibes. It's like it's the top of a building. Like this is the top floor. This has like the kinds of walls and structures and buildings sort of shapes that feel like it should be purely maintenance.
Okay.
But there's really nice furniture everywhere. There's carpets put down over the metal grated floors. There's beautiful, expensive paintings like hung on the walls to sort of like mask the fact that this place is not supposed to be a building, that people are going to be living in at this place. There is a large desk. It is probably mahogany sort of looking expensive wood. On it are several large piles of money, a big stack of cocaine bricks, and an AK-47. His back to you is a very large man. He is wearing a bathrobe. His hair is shaved bald. The guard stops, looks over at you, and kind of nudges you,
What?
You're tell him.
Oh, Mr. Boss, Mr. Beast, Boss Beast.
He slowly turns around and makes eye contact with you.
Hello, it's me, Ringleader. Just letting you know we caught one of those people you were looking for.
He gives you a look up and down and says, I don't believe you're Ringleader. Where's your mustache, Ringleader?
Oh, I shaved it. It's summer. It's hot.
He takes a few steps closer to you and steps into one of the lights, one of the few lights in this room, and you get a good look at his face. He has four. He has 4 parallel scars cutting from one side of his face to the other. His face is mangled. One of his eyes is like milky white. He's missing a big chunk of his lip, so you can always see one of his teeth in it. And in his bathrobe, you see a glint of metal, just sort of like tucked in the waistband. His chest is bare. Big dude's fucking cut, muscles out to here. And he looks you up and down and goes, "It's not that hot."
I mean, would you want a big mustache right now?
He goes, "Oh, is that a quip about me being unable to grow a mustache?
Oh, no, never, sir. Never. Sorry.
I have to shave every day, or else I get patches."
That is unfortunate. I'm so sorry.
Who are you again?
Ringleader. I'm letting you know we caught one of the people you were looking for downstairs. It's the one...
Why didn't you bring him here?
Well...
Why would you say that you caught one and not bring him to me?
Well, he's in the prison cell.
Bring him.
I look at the other guard and I say, why... You were the one who... Why wouldn't you bring him up here?
And the guy says, "Oh, I figured it would be best, sir, if we..." And then he shoots him.
Oh, shit.
Go get him.
Okay. So I go back downstairs.
So you rejoin the other 3, and now 3
other two.
You join these 2 as well as 3 other guards.
They didn't leave?
No.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
So I go in and I said, "Hey, you 3.
Yes, sir.
Not you.
My bad.
You're the designated prisoner
So,
watcher."
do you know this is Dorothy now? Have you managed to figure that out, or are you still confused as to who the real...
I think
I give you a cheeky little wink.
Okay.
No, maybe the one carrying the bag full of alcohol might be the real Dorothy.
It's the wink. And
It's my gun bag.
there's another one that's been winking at me too, so I'm trying to figure out which one is Dorothy and which one is into me.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Or if they're both into me. And so
Who can say?
And so I go, "Oh, no, not you. You're the designated prisoner watcher." And so I turn to the others and I say, "Mr. Beast would like to see you 3 right away. There's a extra prize if you can find the other 2. So go talk to him about it."
They go,
Wish I could go find the other 2. Got to do my duty standing here.
the 3 go, "Oh, that doesn't... okay, I guess. I do need a roll."
It's fine.
So you, this is a non-ass kicking roll. You're trying to convince someone of something. So D10, you are trying to roll under or at your number of
So I need
bubblegums.
3 or lower.
Yeah.
That is a 5.
You say you should go talk to him. You'll get a prize if you find the other 2. And they kind of like stop and go, "The boss doesn't give out prizes."
Oh, did I say prize? I meant reward.
You're not.
I sneak up behind them and slit their neck with a machete.
Oh, that's an ass kicking roll, please.
I got a 6. I have 2 bubblegum left.
The boss doesn't give out prizes. He
just like a ninja in the night. Just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
fuck it, I'll allow it. So you kill the other 3 brutally.
And so I just opened the prison door and I'm like, all right, let's go, guys.
And then, still
fun
in my
fact.
disguise, I turn down to Roscoe and says, "All right, sugar, let's go. Let's get you out of there. I'm sorry I had to hit you so hard. We got new people incoming. We got new tenants." And I throw the 3 bodies in there and shut and lock the gate.
What were you going to say, Matt?
Never mind. I'm going to save it for the review. We'll get there.
So the 3 of you,
We doing the Wookiee Gambit
Yep.
again?
Mandy and I have seen approximately 4 action movies.
so the 3 of you go into the boss's room doing the Wookiee Gambit. You've got a pair of handcuffs on each hand to make it look like they're cuffed together when they're really not. I understand. I've watched Star Wars. And you walk up to the boss's office, and he's sitting in his chair, and there is cocaine all over his desk. He has cut a line, and he's sniffing it. I just had this image, and I think I'm going to go with it. He's sniffing it through the barrel of his revolver.
Oh, God.
Before he can pick his head up.
Like he's got the chamber open.
Yep. Before he can pick his head up, and as he's starting, both hands up, double overhand axe blow to the back of the head.
Oh, brutal.
All right, I need you to roll ass kicking.
I've got 2 sticks of bubble gum, so 3 or better.
Yep.
That's a 4.
All right, so you walk in, and then he starts to look up, and you're standing in front of him, and you double hand hit him in the back of the head. His head smashed against the desk. You hear a crack. He pulls his head back, and there's cocaine and blood coming out of his nose. He takes 2 steps back.
That's a great band name.
Cocaine and blood. He takes 2 steps back. Pistol in his right hand, and the help me out, Matt. The this part of a gun.
The barrel?
The part.
The AK-47 has like a wood grip part.
Yeah, it's a foregrip. It's a barrel guard.
Yeah, foregrip. That's the word I was looking for. He's got the foregrip of his AK in his left hand, and his revolver in his right hand. It's like a magnum thing, right? And he cowboy closes the revolver and starts firing at the 3 of you, or specifically at Roscoe.
I'm going to take the hit, and same style. I'm putting both hands together. I'm letting that hit take me, and just taking the force and rotating all the way around. So there's the 1 for taking the hit.
Sure.
And on a 2 or better, it's coming across to clock him across the chin.
Okay.
That's a 5.
All right. So you hit him again. He stumbles back and slaps into the back wall. The sort of metal framing of this room shakes as he hits it. And he drops the revolver. He grabs the pistol grip of the AK, and he's just gonna fucking spray the room.
Oh, fuck.
I really wish people would stop shooting at us and then I punch it.
Well, I want to, once again, promise this isn't intentional main character syndrome here.
Oh, that's fine.
Roscoe's going to be big. It's what he's good at this point.
Oh, you're gonna get in the way and take those bullets?
Oh, wow.
That's my last stick of bubble gum.
Yeah.
All you're left with is ass kicking.
And you guys aren't getting shot.
Yeah.
I have 2 goals for the rest of this game, and I'll get to them when we get there.
Okay.
When this happens, I would like to snag I assume they're not closed handcuffs of that was on Roscoe, and then again jumping and rolling around on the ground, I would like to roll towards the beast and clamp one of the get one of his arms with the handcuff and clamp the other to like the desk or the radiator or something like that.
Okay, yeah. This building, like I said, this building is kind of a metal cage. This room is a metal cage.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of stuff you could clamp him to.
Yeah. So basically, like immobilizing him.
That will be a roll, though.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of roll is that. Ass kicking.
I feel that's a fight. That's a fight. there.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to roll. I just got to roll a 3 or higher. That's a 7.
Okay. So you run in, you clamp one against his wrist, and then you slam the other one into the wall.
Yes.
Where the handcuff already being partially closed, when it hits the wall, it snaps back around and then relatches on the other side.
Yeah. Dope. And then I'll slowly pull off my walrus chops.
Who are you?
Well, you're going to know my name. Everyone's going to know my name. This is Dorothy Clutterbucket looking at you, and I got a question to ask you. What's your drink? And she unzips the bag.
Question: what hand of his did you attach to the wall?
I think I would have gone with like the trigger hand.
Okay.
So even if he's still holding the gun, he wouldn't be able to like point it
Effectively.
effectively. Yeah. And she says, I just want to have a little talk. What's your drink? And she starts mixing up a drink.
Fuck you's my drink.
Oh, I can make you a fuck you, sir.
That's a backhand across his face.
Yeah, she just like slam with her big chunky rings. And she said, I asked nicely, what's your drink?
Tequila sunrise.
Okay. She starts making a tequila sunrise and hands it to him with the other one. And then she takes the full bottle of tequila and she tears off a piece of her skirt and stuffs it into the rag and lights it. And she says, now I'm going to need the number to your safe here. Otherwise, we're all going down.
He realizes you're serious. I think.
I will sacrifice a bubble gum.
I would say you do have to roll for this. I think.
Yeah.
Threatening someone's is a roll.
Yeah, I will sacrifice a bubble gum and
Okay.
say, all right, it's ticking.
He looks at the three of you and says 1, 2, 3, 4.
And she nods to Antelope.
And I go, that's not very secure, but I'll try it.
Did you not see all the guards you passed on the way up here?
So I try 1, 2, 3, 4.
Click. It opens.
And then I'll slide my liquor bag over to you.
I open it up. and-
Inside is more cash than you've ever seen in your life. This is pallets on pallets of money. There's probably a cool $1 million in here, give or take.
I know it's our plan to buy this building, but I think we should also go on vacation. There's enough in here for both.
Oh, sure. I have. You know what? This is a pretty shitty building. It's probably going to take twice as much to do all the renovations that need to be done here, sir. Have you seen the state of the lower levels? It's terrible. But you know what? I have a way to double our money. And you know what that is?
What?
insurance claim, and I toss the Molotov cocktail over my shoulder and just walk out.
I think we'll end the session there. Thanks for playing. That was all out of bubblegum.
Oh my god.
All right, we'll take a break and then come back for the review. Welcome back. We are going to get into the review of All Out of Bubblegum. We're going to start with likes and dislikes. Who wants to go foist?
So, likes. This is not just a micro RPG. This is an index card RPG. All of the rules can fit and be legible on a single index card. Nice, simple, real quick, real easy. Dislikes, it is barely a game
Yeah.
at best. I know exactly how this would work, and I had a ton of fun playing it here. Mm-hmm. But as much as it is one of the original micro RPGs and kind of what sets the tone for the entire genre, I think it performed really, really poorly. It gives all of the openness that a proper RPG should, and gives none of the conciseness that I like to see in a micro RPG.
Okay.
Likes. I like that there's only 2 stats. It's an either or thing. I don't have to figure it out.
There's a couple moments where we weren't certain, but generally.
Yeah, but for the most part, it was like us trying to bend it a little bit. Dislikes are... One is a dislike and one is a sort of neutral thing. So the true dislike first is I don't like that there wasn't clear rules of if the GM is rolling dice. And we kind of had to homebrew that. And Tim just decided when he was going to roll dice and what the success or failure meant.
Yeah.
And then the neutral thing is like, I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that you can just sacrifice a bubblegum to automatically succeed.
That was gonna be one of mine.
Yeah. So those are my things.
My likes were that we were all tired and it was really simple and easy. I do agree that it was a little too simple. I also think that we've had this criticism of other games as well, and Manny just sort of touched on it, but the risk reward in terms of when you were rolling and when not and stuff was just kind of weird. And especially if you want to be ass kicking, which is kind of the point of the game, you might as well just give away your bubble gum until pretty soon you're just rolling higher than nothing and able to do it. And then this one is so dependent on like what the GM does or decides. Like I think ours, we had a very clear mission, which was to get to the top. And so that made it easier, but I definitely have happily played games with GMs that I think maybe wouldn't have such a specific structure, and it just would have made it harder with nothing else really there.
Yeah, the last time that I tried running this, I've only ran it once before. I just sort of said, what do you guys do practically the whole time, and didn't give a whole lot of structure, and it felt the wheels spun the whole time.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to give you guys a clear direction to head so that when in doubt, you say, I go up.
Right.
And I think that worked out pretty good. But that's experience. I've played this before.
And like, yeah, and I think especially for one that is like an index card one, like Matt was saying, we don't necessarily want it to be that loose.
Yep.
So, but I don't know. I did think it's a really simple mechanic that I haven't personally used before. So to that end, I thought it was fun.
Yeah. My biggest like is I love the writing out of this game. It's clean. It's precise. It's like a well-oiled machine of like 3 gears. You know, it all just functions. Like it's super simple. And then the writing of the actual rules is fun. It's got a couple like fun, quirky bits of like just the language used. I think is fun. My biggest dislike, of course, is I think the ability to give away a bubblegum, honestly, it's so powerful, especially in a game where it says, hey, this should be like a combat focused game. This is you guys getting into the kind of trouble that you would need to get into as a person who would fight. At least that's my opinion of this game. You could probably run this as like, oh, you guys are office workers and you got to tell your boss what's what. And before long, you're kicking ass through the office building or something. Like that could be a fun way to run it, but that's not what I would do.
I mean, that's the plot of the Wanted movie.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, so the dislike is that in a game where you're expected to do enough combat stuff, giving away to instantly succeed at anything is so beefy. Like once you, Manny and Cassandra, once the pair of you realize that you could be like, I'm gonna disguise my way past these guys by cashing in a single bubblegum, I was like, I don't know how to like nerf that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, and like obviously I don't want to nerf that. It's fun, but like I was like, if I was running a longer game of this somehow, I was like, once the players realize that every session they should spend the first like 6 or so moments just going, I do whatever I want. Without any sort of language in this thing to like kind of narrow it down or make it a bonus, like, oh, if you spend a bubblegum, you get like a +3 or something to your roll in the direction that you want it. Might shift it in a way that would continue a little bit of randomness in there.
Yeah, I think I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah, I agree too. And one reason I choose chaos in longer form games is because I know that the GM has put like so much into it, and even if it's bad for my character, I want to see what happens if I push on the door that says don't push.
Yeah.
But I feel, and I was like, I don't know, it's like a compliment to the GM in a way, even though I'm annoying to deal with. But I feel like in this game, I chose chaos because it was easy and there was not a lot of other, and especially like dice don't like me, as you all have learned. And so after getting like 4 consecutive 3s, I was just like, oh my God, Tim, just take my dice.
Yeah. So that's likes and dislikes, I think. What was this game trying to accomplish? I think if y'all have seen They Live by John Carpenter, where the quote "all out of bubblegum" is from, it's a guy pretending to be an action hero. Like it's a guy in a horrible world-ending scenario trying to be hyper badass in a moment and getting into trouble. And this game just sort of does that, I think. I think it hits the nail on the head. You're kind of a badass eventually.
Yeah.
The game says it pretty much at the beginning. You are here to do 2 things: kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Yeah.
And they state it in the rules in their snarky way that chewing bubblegum includes everything that's not kicking ass.
Yeah.
The way they wrote the rules and the snark involved, they hit exactly what they were looking for. And for the way the game is written, I think they actually performed their task perfectly.
I agree.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think what the game is trying to do is make you into sort of a larger than life action star that anyone who's ever watched an action movie, how many times you watch it and be like, that's not how that would happen, or like human beings don't do that.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of my biggest like dislikes of the game, is because I think it succeeds very well in making you larger than life, almost super heroic, like Vin Diesel in the 9th Fast and the Furious movie when, he's on top of a train or whatever, I don't know. I've never seen one.
We should fix that. They're so good.
But I kind of don't like the mechanic of you can literally do anything that you want.
Yeah.
So I think it does exactly what it set out to do, and I don't like it. That it did it so well.
Okay,
or that it makes it so easy to be such a badass,
I also think, too, one thing I will say is micro RPGs were newer at the time. This one was supposed to be really simple. There was less comparison to go off of, and to that end, I think it did a good job. It just, with everything we have now, I just don't know that it was enough for me.
Well, even action movies have changed so much
Yeah.
now. Like there is an attempt at character building and depth into more modern action movies, and we talked about this earlier off mic that there's not a character creation.
No, there's not at all.
Of this. Like we put that into it, and I think that's kind of intentional because in those like early action movies, there's not character creation. Like we don't care about these people, and I think that's one of the differences between action movies from when this game was written and now.
Yeah.
It's like we really need to care about the family.
There's, I don't know. I feel like I really do need to bring this up because all credit to Epoch and Jeffrey, but they missed something really, really hard on this game. It's because we know it as a micro RPG. We're a table of folks who enjoy playing theater of the mind. We enjoy playing the improv, the back and forth, the play off each other, get the character moments, get that kind of stuff. This is not a role-playing game. This is a dice combat game.
Yeah.
And not just dice combat as in, okay, I roll to hit, I take damage. This is dice combat as in, okay, I want to open the door. All right, roll for it. This is that kind of game. The folks who read D&D 3.0, 3.5, or Pathfinder First Edition when it first came out, and like, okay, I want to walk down the street. All right, roll for it, see if you see anything. And it was always, okay, you want to do anything, you roll.
Right.
And that's what this game is supposed to be. That, I think, is where this comes out as part of why they were saying, like, play it when drunk specifically, is because you want to roll for all the little things, and that's why you have to keep yourself down. So, yeah, you can spend a die. Let's put it this way. We spend our dice to do we spend our bubblegum to do stupid stuff, and we really can. But if you're trying to play this like a dice combat power gamer, you save those bubblegum until the very end because it's really, really poorly written here. In the losing your bubblegum section. Whenever you fail a non-combat roll, you lose a stick of bubblegum. Period. You may also sacrifice a stick of bubblegum before the roll to ensure success. Period. Line break. To me, that dedicates that particular section right there is just for non-combat options. So when you get to the end and you only have 1 to 4 sticks of bubblegum left and you're trying to roll to open a door, I just need to get out of the door because otherwise I keep going, unga bunga. So you have to spend that bubblegum ahead of time or just lose it when you fail. You start losing the option to be normal.
Yeah. That's the whole point of the game,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah,
But that's the thing is
Like,
Yeah.
did you read the Zero Bubblegum section where it talks about you're confused by door handles?
yes, that's where I'm
Like-
leading into this. We went into this thinking, okay, we're going to play a crazy action movie. We went into this from a theater of the mind perspective. This is a game about chewing ass
Yeah, keep
chewing
going.
ass and kicking bubblegum.
You're right.
So we went in.
Happy Pride, everybody.
We went in, and I personally took it as like, okay, so we should try and do the non-combat stuff right off the bat, and then realized we're not going to get anywhere in the game because we're just going to either we're rolling so well it's a 80% chance on every single roll that we're going to succeed on non-combat stuff, and you can't just spend the bubblegum to get past the combat. So the option K for combat, I was like, okay, so we should just kind of go for it, and started trying to drive my bubblegum down so one of us had a chance at kicking ass.
Yeah, I think the mechanic is there to like force you into that action movie role, like because like towards the end of the game, if you're all out of bubblegum, you're not going to be like turning the door handle and sneaking in. You're going to be kicking down the door like guns a-blazing, and
Yeah.
I think that's intentional. I just don't think when you actually sit down to play it, it's not supported by like the actual gameplay.
Well,
especially when you have goblins like us intentionally trying to like break it in the first place.
Yeah. We definitely have a crew of people that we have played. I would say more micro RPGs than were even around at the time. Looking for exploits in that. Oh, if I save all my bubblegum till later, I can bluff my way through anything. Is definitely something that would not have been seen in the original game. Like you said, this was probably back when people were rolling to get through dungeons. Like like the dungeon might have been the streets of New York, but you're still gonna 10-foot pole your way down every alleyway. So yeah, I think the era this took place in, the kind of role playing people were doing at the time, is a bit different than now. I'm only asking for rolls on things I think would be interesting if you fail, as opposed to literally everything. I think the comedy that could be in this game is you eventually failing to do basic shit in the way that a badass should be able to do basic shit. And that's kind of the fun about this movie the movie of this game, as you get worse at one thing and better at the other, in the opposite direction that most people go.
Well, and this is going back a little bit, but when we were talking about how character was practically nothing, I hear what everyone is saying. I also keep coming back to even those early RPGs, there still was some character design. And like those early action movies, it was all really rooted in archetypal behavior or whatever. And we don't even really have a chance to do that. We don't have a chance to be like, well, I'm going to be the smartass and you're going to be the straight man and you're going to be the wild card or whatever. And like we just all kind of were like, well, we know those are the action archetypes, so we're gonna all be all of them.
I would say that there is a certain amount of like old school, like, second edition D&D where you're not playing a deep character. You're playing like Tim the human.
Right.
So, like, there's a certain point where you're just playing yourself with a veneer of more badass on it.
Yeah.
This game's that, I think.
Yeah.
I think this game probably would have benefited from us just saying, okay, you write our name and you change one letter and then call it good enough, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or even, and we've seemingly gone into the next section of, like...
What would you change?
What would you change, yeah. But I actually think this game would work a lot better if you do play yourself.
Yeah?
Yeah, because then it's like, I can't do all these things, but I can open a door.
Yeah.
And the more times I fail at opening the door, I get frustrated, and that turns me into like a roided out
rage monster. Yeah.
Rage monster. And that, I think, is like what the game is going for.
Yeah.
And just kind of the idea that like old action movies, generally speaking, are often like, normal Joe gets put into a weird situation and has to be the action star. And I think that's what, like, going into this game, like, that seems to be what the game is trying to push you to do. So things I would change, you just play yourself and, like, don't do a character or anything like that. Yeah, and then other things I would change are just like if I was running it, I would, and kind of getting to the idea of like what we said before of like spending your bubblegum versus like not spending it. I think I would have like made more challenges where you would have to use, where like you would have to roll your bubblegum instead of like just fighting. Because like Matt said, this is mostly a combat game, but like, if it was, there's just a row of doors and you have to get, unlock 7 doors to get to the elevator or whatever. Like you're as a GM forcing your players to roll bubblegum instead of kicking ass. But that's really like, if I was GMing it, I would like give the players a little more, you have to roll this or that to get through this challenge, or unless you can make a really good idea for it or argument for doing it.
No, I would change one line in here, and it's the bubblegum also rates your damage line. The bubblegum also rates your damage. I don't know how I would change that particular phrase.
But you would take away the ability for getting hurt to change your bubblegums?
I would change that if someone else succeeds in a roll of ass kicking against you. I would say if you fail an ass kicking roll,
Yeah.
then
That
you
feels
lose
good
a
to me.
bubblegum.
Yeah.
Because that just, it simplifies it, makes it easier, and just leans you through. Because
Yeah.
honestly, in this particular game, the GM should not be rolling.
Yeah. I was rolling because I felt like you guys getting punched makes sense for you to lose a bubblegum. Yeah. But at the same time, like, there's a certain amount of, like, if the bad guys always hit, it doesn't quite feel right to me.
Yeah.
It also turns into, we had, I don't want to complain about the way the story was laid out and the way the building was laid out, because that's not a complaint that's valid.
So we know it's not about the game, but I did run I ran a different game than written, right? But yeah, let's hear it.
Because we have so many guys to get through all the way up to the top. And we got to a certain thing. We solved one issue, and I'm putting this in major air quotes, by non-combat application. And from there, everything else was ass kicking in one way or shape or form, unless like you were saying, it's like running away or running around.
Yeah.
So it started to turn into, okay, now we just have to try and roll combat all the way through. I feel like that would have gotten us to the point of actual, like, oh no, we're low on bubble gum. Do we risk making the roll and not getting it and losing it, or do we spend the bubble gum to get this simple thing of getting around a guy?
Yeah. So to defend myself slightly, in the movies I was basing this on of Dread and the Raid. By the way, fans, if you've not seen Dread or the Raid yet, go see Dread and the Raid. They're so good. But one of the things that is a major part of them is, like, it is a survival horror sort of situation. You guys sprinted to the top. You didn't take any opportunities to, like, go off path and wait or try to get around people or, like, distract anyone by any means. You just went straight for the stairways. I kind of set it up that way a little bit. That's on me. That's not me telegraphing the sort of, like, possibilities there.
When you have a open hallway, all the apartments have been ripped out, and you now have a crowd of guys in between you and your goal.
That was two of the floors. There's plenty of other stuff.
Look,
but
John McClane wouldn't wait, so I'm not going to either.
he does, though. He waits a lot in that movie.
He does.
Until he runs out of bubble gum.
He also crawls through vents, which we also did.
You also did that, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. So Matt, you're right. I definitely set this. I was imagining. Okay, let me rephrase this. The first time I ran this game, I sort of set it practically in an open city, and my players just sort of farted around until we got bored. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna narrow the focus down a lot and put you guys down a path, and that worked for the most part. But you're right. I definitely did put a lot of combat in your way because I was like, you guys are gonna. I was thinking, okay, you guys are gonna roll really well on everything that isn't combat. So I want to put some combat in your way so that you have opportunities to roll poorly because it's fun.
And we said nope.
This, once again, is actually going to come back to the rules as written.
Yeah.
All fairness to Epoch and Jeffrey, but the final line, and I would change this. There you go. Think up your own damn adventures and campaign settings. This is an index card game.
Yeah.
A micro RPG should fit on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, front and back. That is my opinion. They have so much more space. They can offer campaign settings and ideas. Here's one way to do this. Here's one way to do this.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is what a micro RPG has to be.
But there's space that can be used.
I appreciate where you're coming from, but, like, we don't know what restrictions they put themselves under. Mm-hmm. Like that. Like when I wrote an RPG, I was like 8.5 by 11 front only, and now you're saying I could have had more space. Like. You can't
preface by saying my opinion.
You can't tell Tim in 2019 to write a smaller game or write a bigger game. That's not how that works. Sorry to be a little confrontational, but
I mean, I started it.
Yeah. But yeah, if I would, I do have one thing I would change. I would change the instant success. I would
That's the biggest thing that I
would
think is
I would
really
make it like
getting
I would make it a huge bonus. If you sacrifice a good bubble gum, you get a +5 in the direction you want for your roll. Mm-hmm. For your, well, it was a specific. It says specifically non-combat. I do like that. Mm-hmm. You always roll for combat. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So rolling on a non-combat roll and you get a +5 bonus is basically always a success, unless
you're really low on bubblegum, which is where that's supposed to come into play. Is do you risk it when you have 2 or 3 pieces left of bubblegum?
Yeah. But by making it a bonus instead of a pure success, there is a at least a 1 in 10 chance of you whiffing it.
Here's what I'm envisioning. Okay, because we made it higher up with more sticks of bubblegum with some crazy creative goblins.
Yeah.
So
goblins with hats.
At an average table, where you have 1 goblin of 5 players, that average table is going to make it to the top floor of the raid with 3 to 4 pieces of bubblegum total for the table.
Yeah.
So that's where, excuse me, I still like that instant success, because that's there is only one obstacle between us and the final guy that we have to fight.
Now we can cash that in, and then
we can open the door, and that's what that's meant for. Is for those people who can't do the normal things anymore because they're so angry. They have one last chance of, I'm guaranteed to open the door.
Yeah. And then the next fight, you literally don't have to roll because you're all out of bubblegum. Like that's the thing that I really like about this game, and I also don't like about this game, is I feel that the premise of you roll or you don't roll based on how much bubblegum you have. Because when you hit max, when you're out of it, it says you don't roll, you succeed. I love that so much. It's such a fun concept, but in order to get there, as the GM, you have to push your players for a minute, and we're on a timer. I wanted you guys to get to the end of the story within an hour, and we played for an hour 40.
Well, and then it probably would have gone on a little bit longer, but Dorothy over there kind of nerfed us at the end.
What's the opposite of a nerf? Nuke. That's the one. Big old Molotov cocktail full of tequila. I love that.
We don't even get a chance to see if Antelope and Roscoe survived, because
they do. There's a sequel.
Okay.
So I think the thing that I would change is, instead of giving everyone individual bubblegum, just have 8 pieces for the table.
Oh.
So everybody rolls off the same stat.
Yeah.
That's kind of... honestly, I'd try it once. I'm not 100% certain.
I'm not 100% sure
but I'd try
either,
it.
but I just threw a Molotov cocktail at a man who was chained to a wall. So,
So then there would be less motivation to spend them, because then no one can participate. And then at the end of the game, you've got 3 motherfuckers who are so mad.
Well, see, that's another thing, is like, with the type of action movies that this is sort of based on, it's like one guy who's superhuman.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to get that at a table, So, like, if you watch Die Hard, the whole point is that it's one guy that takes down all the terrorists or whatever, It doesn't work as well if there are 3 John McClanes in the building, And so having, like, your team, maybe it's like you're all playing one guy, like the one guy action hero.
Everyone is John, and he's all out of bubblegum.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Have y'all played Everyone is John?
No.
That might be another one we should probably play. Then we could talk about mental health. That'll be a fun conversation.
Woo!
Everyone is John is it's a Minneapolis game, actually. It was
fun.
made local.
I live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a game where you all play as one dude, and you all have different goals, and you're all in his head, and you take turns taking control of him, and you have to roll on, and I quote, literally everything. Every door open, you got to roll on it. Every time you walk down the street, you roll on it. You try to put grapes up your butt, you got to roll on it.
Why would I try to put grapes up my butt?
That's
Hey,
a lot.
don't yuck my yum.
That's a lot of points.
oh.
It's a competitive. It's a PvPvE game. You're all working together, but only one of you wins as John.
See, now,
But like
that sounds fun.
it is kind of fun, but it also is a conversation. That game is a whole fucking conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sort of like everyone's playing as the same character. You can make that work, and I think this game might work if you made it one dude.
I would.
Everyone is John and he's all out of bubblegum.
Yeah.
I like it.
If we were doing that for the table,
Uh-huh.
I think I would up it to 10 sticks of bubblegum
Yes.
and make
Well,
it a
yeah.
D12.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
I'd
yeah,
be pro that.
all right, so I think that's what we would change is everything in various natures.
It just needs a complete update, a little refresh.
A version 2 would be fucking
We are
sick.
coming to this 22 years
Yeah.
after it's been written.
Much like those apartments in the game. This could use a fresh coat of paint and a new toaster, I think.
Also, Crystal Pepsi.
All right, so table it or shelve it.
I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going to shelve it unless I have a table of only dice combat players that I'm trying to trick into role playing in later sessions. It's like, hey guys, let's give this a shot, and they'll see where they're fucking up.
Okay.
I'm going to table it with some heavy caveats. I wouldn't pull this out for every table, but generally I would. I will table it.
So, for me, games often really are about the company and the story the GM makes. So, like, would I play this with you all again? Yes. In general, I think I would shelve it.
All right, fair enough. I think I'm with you, Manny, on this one. I think I'd table it with a couple changes. I think I like the idea of being dumbasses running through an office building more than I like being dumbasses running up through an apartment complex. But I still like this game a lot, and I would love to make some changes to it.
I would also
table it.
I would also like to play this game as children in like a kindergarten class.
Oh my god, I don't think I could handle that.
You need to watch the music video for Empty Walls by Serge Tankian.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 2 shelvets and 2 tablets, more or less.
2 tablets asterisk.
Yes,
2
yes.
shelvets asterisk.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, this was a very divisive one. Good
was.
times.
I feel like the past couple have been.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember the last couple.
Well, here's the question. Do you remember your end of episode plugs?
Yeah, it's a very good question.
Listen to Lesser Evil. We're
Yeah.
about to wrap the first season.
Do you want to tell them what Lesser Evil is a little
Lesser
bit?
Evil is a live play D&D podcast set in a world vaguely reminiscent of the 1990s where the Dark Lord has risen to power and the bad guys lost.
Good guys lost, right?
The good guys lost. Yeah, the good guys lost. Bad guys are in power.
We're killing this. We're killing it tonight.
I'm the GM. Cassandra's on it. It's all queer people.
It's not
Being-
even 5 o'clock yet.
being bad little office workers.
Proper naughty boys.
Proper naughty boys. and
Proper
girls.
naughty boys.
As a real proper naughty boy, there he is.
Anyone else have any plugs?
Nope, I think that one's it. You can check us out.
I usually do. Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Cassandra Snow. My most recent book is called Lessons from the Empress, a tarot workbook for self-care and creative growth, co-written with Siri Vincent Plouffe. Buy that wherever you buy books. I also wrote other books that you can also buy wherever you buy books.
This episode was brought to you by Proper Naughty Boys.
Proper naughty boys. All right, thank you for listening. You can find us at Micro RPGs on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or email us at microrpgs@gmail.com. We also have a Discord. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/tableit. If you want to support us financially, you can rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. And most importantly, tell a friend about us. Our theme is Chill Viber Jazz by Danny Dory. And I'll see you all next time.
Mummy, I don't want to be a naughty boy.